Hello, welcome to the first episode of the Rule Reading Reverend. I am Nick Acker. I am a deacon in the Anglican Church, part of the United Episcopal Church in North America. I'm deacon in St. Andrew Matthias Anglican Church here in Hastings, Michigan. Hastings is a small town. I was born and raised here. I did not grow up religious. I grew up very secular. I came to faith just 4.5 years ago, after almost 2 decades as an atheist. Since then, I have been trying to find my way into the different things I love, which are obviously the Bible and the faith, but also poetry, literature, history, philosophy. These things enliven us. But I think so much the memory of all of this has been lost. And though my secular job is not in literature or philosophy, I'm a trained behavior analyst, actually. It was through my personal reading that I'm the kind of person, when I hear of a famous work, I take a note of it, I put it on a list, and when I have a chance, I buy it, or I listen to it, or I watch it. And so I've got to partake in the culture of America and the West in a way that I think is grand, but also that's accessible to nearly everyone. And I think it's exactly the kind of thing that we need right now. Not only a return to faith, but the culture that that faith built. And so on this podcast, on the show, that's what I want to talk about. Other things I've done, this book, A Crisis of Meaning, an Apology for Traditional Religion. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can order it at your local bookstore. It's short, but it actually talks about how I came to faith. And the reason why that's important, because it's not the story you hear commonly. Commonly, the story, at least in my lifetime, has been you have an experience and you believe, and then and then you find your way. But I didn't have that. I started reading the Bible and kind of unknowingly praying. I found that Christianity was important to our society, to our culture. It's what connected us before. And trust me, as an atheist, I looked everywhere to find where we could have what held us together previously that was clearly lost. But in the end, it was the church and the faith and the practices of community that supported. I thought it was social clubs for a while, communities, but those things were held together by the shared Christian faith. That's what built America in the West. And that was the undercurrent of everything. Even for those who didn't go to church, that was still the undercurrent of society. It was the story that everyone knew and told each other. It's how they disputed. It's how they alluded to this or that problem or idea. It's how they were inspired. It's how they mourned. And so I started going to church. I found, after trying to go to more modern churches during, this was during COVID, and feeling like I didn't see the belief I was looking for to hold people together unto death. I found a little Anglican church, Anglicanism that I didn't even know that it existed. And I read the prayers, I said the words, and I stood when they stood, and I sat when they sat, and I prayed when they prayed. And at first, I just felt the meaning and the connection to everything from hundreds and hundreds of years in those words, in those prayers, in those ceremonies. But then I heard God. And I knew. And it wasn't a moment, it wasn't a day. But at one point I didn't believe. And then eventually I knew I did. Utterly, completely. I want to share all the things I've learned with everyone who could benefit from it. Some people will say, well, I don't really see the purpose, I don't see the point, nothing means anything, nothing matters. And here's the thing, nothing can matter if you don't believe it's possible. If you don't go through the motions. It doesn't matter if you feel the tug of this or that. You have to be led by more than that in this life. You need values. You need principles. You need morals. You need truth that you can rely on. Even when everything in you says, I don't have it in me. Because when that happens, your body you can say to your body that's saying, no, I don't want to do it anyways. Because it's the right thing to do. So for that reason, I want you to come along with me while we talk about literature and the biblical stories. We can relate them sometimes to our culture, but sometimes just to little devices and ways to bring them into our life. Memorial Day is this weekend, as well as Pentecost. Go to church. Go to church this weekend. Participate in it because for hundreds and thousands of years, it's connected people to the West. May God give you belief. But if He doesn't, it's still your heritage. It's still your traditions, even if you haven't been participating in that. Following day in America is Memorial Day. We commemorate the soldiers that have fallen in our wars, standing for our nation, the ones who didn't make it back. Find a way to participate. Go to the ceremonies, play taps, and remember the role that's had in military funerals for so long. Read the poems or the Gettysburg Address. Connect yourself with what has been before. when you understand where you've come from, how you got here, you have a better way to move forward. Find a way to participate in this world and in this life. Become more than you are. Because that's what we're all called to do. Or at least, that's the case as far as I see it. Hopefully in future episodes I will have a more specific topic to talk about. But today I just wanted introduction. I'm trying to merge my different loves into one project. And I'm hoping this is it. For now, I'm your rural